So this week I was diagnosed with asthma. To give you some context, I started to study perfume making in 2014. My focus at the time was on natural perfumery, um, but not long afterward, I decided I wanted to expand into more conventional classical perfumery using natural materials and aroma chems. Um, So I continued with that, and things were good until about 2016. I was noticing I was coughing a lot more than usual. So I consulted with my primary care physician, and we decided that I was dealing with overexposure to the materials. So we discussed proper occupational practice, making sure that I'm more careful, using better dilutions, etc. So I continued working on perfume making until about early 2021. And I felt at that time I needed to revisit it later because it is a costly endeavor. It's an expensive hobby. The materials are expensive. It's just a lot. It involves a lot of time. It's an investment that was daunting for me. So I wanted to just put it on the back burner for a while. So fast forward to the end of the year 2021, and I realized I was just still dealing with this cough, and it concerned me. So I visited my primary care again, and he recommended that I go for a pulmonary functioning test, which I did this year, February of 2022. And the results did not show anything that was alarming, but it did point out some obstruction, which concerned me. So I talked about that with my doctor, and he referred me to a pulmonary specialist. So you can imagine with the specialist, it took several months for me to get in for an appointment, but finally this month I visited the pulmonary specialist. I did another test and discussed with her what I've been dealing with, and it was determined that I'm experiencing asthma. So I was prescribed Symbicort to take on a daily basis and albuterol as needed. So this is real. I really do have asthma. And in our discussion, we can't really determine if it's directly a result of the exposure to the perfume materials or to perfume in general, or if this is something that was existing and I was already at the precipice and working with the perfume materials and wearing a lot of perfume really triggered it and pulled it out. We also discussed the fact that I grew up as a Gen Xer around a lot of secondhand smoke. So some of us may not be fazed by that, but others who may be predisposed to asthmatic conditions can develop asthma in adulthood. So I'm 44 years old, and it is very possible to have this kind of diagnosis. You don't need to be a child, and you don't necessarily have to notice any symptoms of it until later on in life. I also talked with her about my relationship to perfume. Do I have to quit? Do I have to stop wearing it? What does this mean? And she reassured me that I can still have a relationship with fragrance. However, I have to re examine that relationship and change the way that I experience and enjoy perfume. So I have to wear it differently. I can't wear it around here or on my chest under my shirt because that's in the direct path of my respiration. So if anything, I can maybe wear it behind here, but mostly here and here, so that it doesn't interfere with the asthma. I also have to practice proper ventilation. So the most triggering um, phase of perfume would be like those first 20 or 30 minutes that it's diffusive because of the perfumer's alcohol. So I have to make sure I have the windows open, which can be difficult in in the dead of winter. Um, but I'll have to do what I need to do to make sure there's proper ventilation in order for me to enjoy perfume. Um, so there's a lot of things that I have to consider. Um, it's heartbreaking. I decided then and there when I was sitting with the pulmonary specialist that I don't think I can return to doing perfume making. It's just too risky, and that hurts because I actually was planning on returning from that hiatus in 2023, and I had a lot of ideas and visions for what I'd like to do. Um, so it's upsetting, and I have to process that. I just don't want to take the risk. My health is far too important to me. So this is going to be a journey. I have to navigate through this new diagnosis, and it's going to be difficult. Um, I will still be doing content. I'll still do YouTube videos, and I'll still be sharing a lot with you. But just bear with me as I learn more about asthma and being an asthmatic. And I want folks to keep in mind that it can be a risk also um, to overspray. I take caution with that. I know that I really can't afford to overspray with this diagnosis, and you don't know what could be potentially in your future if you overexpose yourself to perfume. So I would use your discretion when applying perfume, and I discourage overspraying, not only because of a situation like my own, but there are others out there who have respiratory conditions and disorders, whether that be asthma or COPD or something else, where you could be triggering that condition. And I'd ask that you'd be more mindful when you're in the workplace, on your commute, even around your friends and family. And you don't know if even yourself, you might have a predisposition to develop asthma yourself. It happened to me. I didn't expect it. So I don't mean to scare any of you, but just be aware and alert and listen to your body. If you're noticing that you're coughing, give yourself a break. And if it's persistent, speak to your doctor. Be careful if you're exploring perfume making. Use the best practices in dilution and exposure to those materials. I want to thank everyone for all of their support as I've started this YouTube channel in June. Also with my Instagram, my reviews on Fragrantica and Base Notes. It means the world to me that I have had such a great reception to what I share with everyone. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I extend my love and gratitude to all of you. I won't be going anywhere, but I do want everyone to be aware that this is a new diagnosis. This is new territory for me. I have to learn how to appreciate and enjoy fragrance differently, and I might not be able to appreciate it the same way that many of you do as a result of this. So I do appreciate your patience and your understanding. And I thank you all for everything. And until next time, be well and be kind to each other by all means. Take care.